Good morning, my lovelies, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to Vlogmas day 1. So today is the day where I will be putting up and decorating my Christmas tree. But before we get into that, I feel there needs to be a little bit of a story time surrounding my current Christmas tree and my tree journey throughout my lifetime. So firstly, my memories, I'm not sure when my dad was at home. He left when I was 9, so I haven't got much of a recollection. And then my nan lived with us. She died when I was 12. Now, definitely kind of like after that, I remember that we used to have a real tree. So my mum didn't have much money, not 2 halfpennies to rub together, if I'm honest with you. And but we always got a real tree, I don't know why. And we always bought that tree on my birthday, which is the 15th of December. So just 10 days before Christmas. And we would walk up to the greengrocers, which was just really at the end. I mean, it's very different now in that area where my mum's house was. But we used to have a greengrocers pretty much at the end of the terrace. My mum's house was pretty much in the middle of that row of terraced houses. And you walked to the end, and that's kind of like where the shops started. And we would walk up and choose our Christmas tree. So had a real tree then, and then by the time I was, living on my own in various flats and things, as a young woman, I always had a real tree. And all the time my kids were growing up, always had a real tree. Then, and then much later on, we got a artificial Christmas tree, quite a big one, right up to the ceiling in the house that I've moved out from. So we probably had an artificial tree for probably maybe the last 10 years that I was living there. We've had an artificial tree for quite some time. I'm not 100% sure how long. Anyway, so that's kind of like the Christmas tree story. I love a real tree. I think, most people will say, they smell lovely and they are really nice to have. They are expensive now. Mind you, artificial trees are expensive now, aren't they, for a decent one? But of course you do very often get mess. The pine needles drop in. And I can remember once at my mum's, we had a golden Labrador at one point called Candy. And I can remember one day, my mum said she could hear the dog in the night, but my mum never came down to see what was wrong. The dog had an upset stomach, but she decided to go under the Christmas tree because there was paper down. And the whole back of the dog was like covered in pine needles in her fur. So it was quite a funny story. Not funny for the dog, bless her heart, but yeah. Anyway, where was I? So yeah, fast forward to moving into this house and Christmas fast approaching. And I'd done what I had, what I've been doing now. So that first Christmas was exactly the same when it came to buying presents. So I was using my top cashback money, my Boots Advantage card points from my Scan to Recycle drops. And I was all sorted out on the present front, and I'd earned some extra money from wrapping presents for a relative. And basically, we were edging closer and closer to Christmas, and I had 30 quid left to buy a tree and some decorations for it. And I kept thinking, oh my God, what am I going to do? I kept looking online at Argos because some had already been reduced. And I thought, well, I could get one of those little $4.99 sort of two foot ones just to go on the sideboard or something like that. But I didn't really want it. And then there was a part of me that just thought, Christmas will never be the same again. Why am I even bothering to think about a tree? And I was having a conversation with a friend of mine about it. And she said, I think I've got a tree you can have. So Sorry, I have to keep stopping to have a coughing fit. She said, I'm sure I've got a tray you can have. I'll fish it out and let you know. And she messaged me back and she said, yeah, I've got the tree all out. I'll drop it over such and such a day. So anyway, she dropped the tree over and that left me with some money to buy some decorations. So it is quite gappy. It is quite old. It's one of those sort of flocked, what are they called? Flocked ones with the snow effect on, and the white bobbles of the snow effect ends up everywhere. But hey ho, it is what it is. But that's the story of the tree. Not only did she give me the tree, she gave me a brand new set of lights still in the box as well. So I had the lights, and then I had the money that I had left in my budget for decorations, so baubles and the like, and a staff for the top of the tree. So I'll show you now the decorations, and yeah, and then I'll be able to get started on getting the tree up and decorated. So this is a little tour of the decorations that have been built up over the last 2 Christmases since I've lived here. So you've heard the story about the tree, the budget, and yeah, all of that stuff. So the first baubles that I bought, I believe, were a 12 pack from Sainsbury's of these kind of like brown and bronzy ones, because I guess brown was in fashion that year, and in shops like, well, in any shops, you get trends when it comes to colours and decorations, don't you? So most places will always have the traditional sort of red and green, but you do see various colours showing up each year as well. So the first pack of baubles that I bought were the brown, and these sort of silvery ones were mixed in, and there was a mixture, as you can see, of shiny and matte if you look at the bronze ones. My favourites are actually the brown matte baubles. I really like those. So I bought those before Christmas in Sainsbury's with the money that I had. I bought these ones here, of which there are 6. That was also from Sainsbury's. I bought the star, which is a tree topper, also from Sainsbury's. And also from Sainsbury's, these 3 large silver baubles, which I love. That was a pack of 3. So for the first year, that was what I had. Then I ended up in Asda a few days before Christmas, and a lot of decorations were reduced, and I got these 2 black and pearl baubles, which I absolutely love, and I got some of these stars. Now the first year, these were the stars that have got a slight bit of glitter to them, and they were 50p each. I think they're about a £5 in the White Company, and I took what was left on the shelf. I think there's only 3. And then last year, when I was back in Asda, I looked for them again, but they only did the plain silver and not the shiny. And again, I think I got 3 just to balance it out. So there are 6 of those, and these were also from Asda that first year. Then I had, which one is it? This one here, 2023, that one of my friends bought me. And I also had these 2 baubles here. Now these have got my 2 youngest grandchildren who were born at the end of 2023, October and November. These are made at a local pottery place, and it's got their footprints on them and their names and their first Christmas, which are really cute. You can see there's a little tiny foot and another little tiny foot. So that was what I started off with the first year. Just to say, there are 4 others of these at my other house. So we have those for all my grandchildren, but I only have those 2 here. So the tree had quite a few gaps. And I was out in the garden one day, and my hydrangea, well, there's 2 out there actually, the hydrangea heads had gone brown. And I thought, oh, why don't I pick the hydrangea heads and fill the gaps in my Christmas tree with them? And I absolutely loved it. So there I am with this, you know, given to me tree that's old and sparse, and I just looked at my tree and thought, I absolutely love it. And I think it's like everything in this house that's been given to me. I seem to love it all more than the things that I was able to buy new in my previous life. Everything means so much more. It's mad, isn't it? Don't get me wrong. I'd love to be able to go out and buy new furniture and things. Well, of course, I did get a new coffee table, bed and sofa, which you will know if you watched my very early videos of house tours. But other than that, all the other furniture has been given to me or bought from Facebook. But the fact that I've been able to put a home together with bits and pieces that have been given to me that I wouldn't ordinarily have gone out and bought, yeah, it just means a lot. And it's the same with the tree. And then after Christmas, that same year, I picked up another set of baubles in Sainsbury's. They were literally £2 for 12, but rather than the brownie kind of colourway, these were the gold colourway, but just helped to fill it out. And then, obviously, my friend bought me the 2024 decoration as well. And that wasn't a decoration, it was on my Christmas present. And I thought, well, that could work as a decoration. And then here I've just got a few little odd bits that were in the box with the tray. If I've got any gaps that I need to fill, I will use those as well. And I also got a personalised bauble with my name on there, which was a gift. And yeah, so apart from the 4 grandchildren's baubles, which I know are safe, I also have 2 ceramic pug baubles, which my middle daughter picked up from Winter Wonderland quite a few years ago, long time ago. I'll see if I can find a picture of them. And they have the names of my pugs on them. And I have said on many an occasion to my son, I'm almost glad that I don't have them here. I literally can't think about my dogs or my mum without crying. Ridiculous, isn't it? Oh, my little pugs. Yeah, I'm glad I haven't got those decorations here. I'd cry every day looking at them throughout Christmas. God, it's mad, isn't it? I never thought I would think about those dogs this much when they'd gone. I just think I've been a very emotional person. In general, since I moved out, I could cry at the drop of a hat. Oh dear. And also, missed out these 2. These were from Asda, but last year, so not the first year. Those 2 big glass ones, they were from Asda as well. So, those are the decks. Let's see what we can put together. Well, they say everybody's got a good side. but I don't think my poor old tree has. So the lights are on and the star is on the top. Now time for the baubles. It's really difficult actually. You can't fit it all in the screen of the telephone, which is somewhat annoying. Making inroads with the bigger baubles. But honestly, I play around with my tree every single day, right up until Christmas. I'm never satisfied with how it looks. So that, guys, is as good as it's gonna get. So I've used the hydrangeas to fill in the really big gaps, and all I need to do now is just turn it round slightly so it's facing down the room. At the moment it's facing me because I need to walk back and try and see. Yeah, it's impossible to fit it in. And then the only other decoration that I have is this garland, which cost about £4. I bought last year before Christmas. And I've got this little tea light holder thing there. And this Christmas candle is about 3 years old, but there is still some left in it. I do love a Christmas candle. I hope you've enjoyed today's video, and let me know what you think of the tree. It's quite funny actually talking about real trees, because one of my daughters put something up on Instagram and said, why are the trees always so much bigger when you get them home from the garden centre? And they absolutely are. And all of the years I had a real tree, I used to say exactly the same thing. After picking it out and thinking it was about the right size, get it in the house and they seem absolutely huge. But yeah, that's one thing you don't have to worry about with an artificial tree.